Alright class, so today we are going to talk about lung volumes and capacities, and this is something that you must know for the quizzes and the practical exam. This is something that students often get confused with, so I thought I'll make a mini video with hand-drawn representations of lung volumes and capacities. Alright, so before we start talking about the different volumes, I want you to know few definitions. First is inhalation. What do we mean by inhalation? Well, that's a fancy term for normal breathing in, right? So you are breathing in. So you're normally breathing in. That's inhalation. What is exhalation then? Exhalation is breathing out, and again this is kind of, you're doing it normally, so you're not putting extra effort to inhale or exhale. Another term for inhalation is inspiration, and another term for exhalation is expiration. Therefore, inspiration same as inhalation, same as breathing in normally. And expiration, same as exhalation, same as breathing out normally. Okay, so right here I have drawn a diagram of the lungs. And let me... Okay, right here I have drawn a picture of the lungs, and the lungs is, and you are looking at a lungs right after a normal exhalation, right? So breathe in, slowly breathe in. If you are sitting, if you are relaxed, just breathe in normally and breathe out. Right after you breathe out, this is your lungs. And now that you are you are going to take another breath in, breathe in normally. So what you are doing, you are adding some air into the lungs, right? So your lung volume is increasing. Do you agree? So you are breathing normally and you are putting in some air into the lungs. Okay. So this volume of air that you take in during normal inhalation is called tidal volume. So this is tidal volume, and this is about 500 mils. And this is a volume of air that you take in during normal inhalation. Okay. So you are taking in tidal volume. Now when you are breathing out, or when you are performing expiration, you are breathing out this volume, right? So usually my point is, when we are breathing in and breathing out, we are taking in 500 mils and we are breathing out 500 mils. So the volume kind of oscillates between these two values, right? Breathing in, breathing out. And that is our tidal volume. All right. Now, do me a favor. Breathe in normally. Now, can you try to take a deep breath? So go like... So when you take a deep breath, what are you doing? Are you adding even more air to your lungs on top of the tidal volume? Yes, you are. So you are adding more volume on top of the tidal volume. So deep breath, oops, sorry, my bad, is this. You are adding even more air on top of the tidal volume. And this is called Inspiratory Reserve Volume, or IRV. Okay, so IRV stands for Inspiratory Reserve Volume. Okay, And I also talked about tidal volume, which is the volume of air we breathe in normally. We breathe in and out normally in resting position. Okay. IRV is about 3 liters or 300 mils. Okay. So we understand tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume. Now do one thing. Take a deep breath in and then try to force out air from your lungs. So you take a deep breath in like this and then go try to force out the air from your lungs. So you are forcing even more air out, right? You are forcing out a lot now. Man, what's wrong? And when you are forcing out air, the extra air that you are actually breathing out on top of the tidal volume, this is called expiratory reserve volume, or ERV. And this is roughly around 1.3 liters. Different textbooks or 1300 mils. Let's put 1300. I have to erase. 1300 mils. Now, one more time. Let's try it. Take a deep breath in. Try to push all the air out of your lungs. Okay. Now, even after you force a lot of air out of your lungs, do you think there is still air remaining in the lungs? Yes. And that value and that volume is called residual volume. I should change color. That's called residual volume. So, residual volume is the amount of air that always remains in the lungs. There is no way you can force out the residual volume. And this is really important. Class, hold on, my dog is barking. What, Oreo? And this is really important because think of it. If the lungs is out of air, what will happen to the alveoli? The alveoli will collapse, and the alveoli have alveolar surfactant, which is like a greasy fluid, right? So the membranes will stick to each other and you cannot really inflate the lungs back. Therefore, it's really important to have some volume of air in the lungs always, and that is our residual volume. Again, you cannot force the residual volume out of your lungs. And this is about 1200 mils. Okay, so let me write this down one more time. ERV is the volume of air expelled during forced expiration. Make sense? And then residual volume is the volume of air that always stays in the lungs. Make sense? All right, class. Okay, now, so these are the 4 volumes. Okay, we will talk about 4 volumes and 4 capacities. So again, residual volume, ERV, TV, and IRV. Okay, now talking about capacities, let's talk about this. Now, everything added together. So let me label these as 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you add everything together, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, it adds up to about 600 mils or 6 liters. Same thing. And this number is called total lung capacity. It's a capacity, total lung capacity, which is RV plus ERV plus TV plus IRV. That's total lung capacity. Okay. If I add 1 and 2 together, just 1 and 2, which is RV plus ERV. That gives us FRV, which is functional residual volume. This is functional residual volume. Okay. Now what if I add 2 plus 3 plus 4 together? 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is ERV plus TV, plus IRV. This is your VC, or vital capacity. That's your vital capacity. All right, so we talked about the total lung capacity, which is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. We talked about the functional residual volume. And remember, if you are doing regular breathing, so you take in, breathe out. After regular exhalation, you are essentially left with functional residual volume, right? You have this RV plus ERV, which is functional residual volume in your lungs. All right. Okay. Now, last thing, what if I add IRV plus TV, which is 3 plus 4? 3 plus 4, 3 is TV plus IRV. This is your IC, or inspiratory capacity. IC, or inspiratory capacity. Class. 4 volumes and 4 capacities, you must remember. So let me underline this. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, this is total lung capacity, you must know. Then functional residual volume, you must know. Vital capacity is another one, and inspiratory capacity. You must know these 4 capacities, lung capacities. All right, now if we need to graph it out, actually I'll make a separate video for the graph.